Eyes slowly flutter open, his body feels weak, and his hair has changed color to silvery white. He's unable to speak as a slash on his throat freshly oozes blood all over his shirt. The newly reincarnated body of the knight shuffles his way out of the dark alleyway and enters a bustling street into the modern world. A drone observes him, and a man under a basement surrounded by computers alerts someone over the phone about him not being dead yet. Two policemen notice his injuries and inquire about his details. He recognizes some words that they are saying and responds to them with a broken accent. She introduces herself. He has any memory of her. However, upon his failure of recollection, she whips out a bloody crowbar from under her jacket and explains how the gash on his throat is her doing. She starts chasing him as he makes a run for it, but quickly finds him in an abandoned building. He observes that his body still freshly possesses the evil eye, and as he does, a state of calmness envelops him. He is able to cast spells, and without delay, he pierces through her abdomen. Lying limp in front of him is the body belonging to the corpse god. Calamity Crusher seems to have been brought back into the true world again after setting off a trigger in the modern world. He informs the mage about the new reincarnation spell that he was under not too long ago, and she thanks him for saving their world. He returns back into the body of Polka and expresses his wish to stay as the modern world is overloaded with magical powers, and decides to play as the Grim Reaper once more, unveiling the truth of being the undead corpse god. Episode 2. The necromancer's story is disclosed. His main objective in life is to live in peace, both in the past and present. However, since he too is born with the evil eye, his desire to live the way he wants as a child is soon put to rest, as he is sold off to local sorcerers. He learns how to become a necromancer in order to survive tough battlefields. One day, after the Empire falls, he crawls into a cave to live the rest of his years quietly. This plan is interrupted as he finds out that he has neighbors, a small little family of survivors, starving to death. He slides fruits upon a platter made of a rib cage, and soon enough they start living together. Nurturing the lands nearby and building a life from scratch, the cursed-eyed retainer falls in love and creates a home, one which was never granted to him. Soon enough, the knights of the church arrive and skewer all the members of his family, ripping him from his peace yet again. He buries himself down a cave and studies magic in solitude, until one day he plans to reincarnate to give himself a chance at living peacefully. That fateful battle with the Calamity Crusher allowed him to fulfill his wish. Meanwhile, in the present time, the corpse god panics after actually killing off the girl and proceeding to cast a spell on her. The tech-savvy guy, Takumi, believes he's seeing some trippy CGI stuff, and calls in Lisa Kuraki, who seems to be a higher-up, for help. Lisa walks in with a squad of men with loaded weapons, all aiming at Polka. Upon seeing the boy, she exchanges information and asks where he's from. They're interrupted by news breaking in. A building is lit on fire with children of Yakuza men trapped inside. He asks for the location and catapults his way to the building. The children are saved by the reincarnated spirits of their departed family. The news reporters snap photos for tabloids. The skeletons make headlines as mysterious rescuers of the children. Afterwards, Misaki's troubled past also unfolds. Her way of killing people is explained as she's been a witness to her mother's gruesome murder in her childhood. She works as an infamous hitman who kills people while smiling at them, but all her victims are bad people. Polka, a former innocent boy, is her test of sanity and eventually registers herself mentally unhinged. Soon, she gains consciousness, and Lisa offers help to the mysterious sorcerer, still unclear of what her true motives are. Episode 3. News channels broadcast videos of skeletons walking to save the children. Sorcery has been introduced into the world already. All three of the former enemies, Takumi, Misaki, and Polka, shift into a new office in an abandoned building. The terrifying necromancer now uses his spells to summon helping skeleton hands to clean up the place. Misaki learns that her body is different to what it once was before. It was less fragile. She dotes over how cool Polka is after learning how he's called the corpse god in the other world. The tech geek figures that she's got a couple of loose screws in her head and still stays wary of the new partner in business. The sorcerer studies up about the new world by skimming through piles of books. He aims to find one who hired the hitman to come after him, but for now wonders how they are going to earn money to reach a peace in his life. The yandere psycho girl debates how murdering for a living can be lucrative, and they take up a task that comes to them not long after. It's simple. They protect one gang member from being killed off by professional hitmen. At night, they go into an abandoned factory, and as they make their way through, they are ambushed by an entire crew of gangmen. Misaki is agile, defeating everyone who charges at her, but is shot from behind by the person who hired both of them. Upon the blatant betrayal, Polka's eyes gleam red again, and he scoffs at their attempt at killing her, as she is now a zombie, nearly indestructible. The frenzied zombie rounds them up as Corpse God conjures up a mass of dead remains and presses everyone into a tight ball. A blonde guy with a couple of piercings sits with his head facing down at the bar. His partner deals with the bouncers outside another bar, not wanting to pay 60,000 yen for a beer. He pounces at the thought of the hitman hiring woman and asks for her usual visits from the bartender. Even though he's drunk beyond belief, he recollects about the mysterious events happening in the city, bringing attention to the walking skeletons. He gets in trouble quickly after he harasses a female bartender who's just doing her job and gets kicked outside. Polka and his new partners in crime huddle up together to eat pizza. They discuss how Misaki's body is now just like a zombie, so bullets or other bodily harm won't be fatal for her anymore. Healing wounds is easier for her too, as she can eat like regular human beings, but for serious injuries she must eat raw meat. Her saliva is also poisonous, he tells them, upon finding out that she attacks poor old Polka and he falls to the ground limp. Deep in the darkness, the police are patrolling the old factory and find a man destroying the lump of mass created by the victorious magician. They flash their lights to the direction of the shadow, but it disappears. Both the drunk, heavily pierced blonde and the guy fighting with the bouncers meet up at the crime scene. They are police investigators. They see the bodies of the dead and count the event as a semi-occult murder scene. Episode 4. At Shinjuku Police Station, both partners discuss the recent mind-boggling crimes, naming each one and trying to link them together. The Gator Sisters, the Barber, Riddle, the Grocer, the Poisoner, Donner, Phantom Solitaire are all either dead or caught already by the police. They are all complicated cases and are not supposed to be seen by the public eye. The meeting rooms consist of all the members of the Material Compiling Group Number 3, or COMPS 3 for short. The new criminal cases that are a bit serious include the Grim Reaper, Lemmings, and fire-breathing bugs. Lemmings is a suspect involved in the crime scene at the factory since his footsteps matched. Moreover, the fire-breathing bug is the event which has significant relevance to the sightings of the skeletons. Even though they all point towards a skilled magician of sorts, Tsubaki Iwonami gives them the reassurance that it has to turn out into a regular witty human being. His partner Kozaburo Arasi is excited to unfold the truth behind everything. At the police station, Corpse God reincarnates the real soul of Polka Shinoyama in a shark-stuffed toy, releasing Takumi's drone from his possession. Both Misaki and the sorcerer take a stroll around town to get him accustomed to the zeitgeist of the modern world, and of course, how money works around her. He's surprised to find out at a jewelry store that a single price of a rock is 3 times the amount of salary of a normal working-class person. Corpse God needs gems and crystals to rejuvenate his powers, but he walks away with his spirits crushed after facing the reality of him being poor. A drone hovers over the two and catches a glimpse of the cop, Arasi, waiting in front of them, happily beaming a smile. He bounces upward and catches it. Around the same time, Iwonami walks into the bar from last night and finds Lisa bartending. He walks over to her, leaning at the bar table, and interrogates her about the recent events which have taken place. Jinka is one of the lackeys that he has taken a lot of clues from. Arasi tells both of them to act like good kids and to cut ties with Takumi. Since he is a troublemaker, he places his hand over Polka's shoulder and notices that his boy is cold. Ticked off at his unsolicited advice, Polka's eyes shine with the red color again. This interests the cops and he wishes to get to know them. Takumi hurriedly rings up the investigator and tries to negotiate with him. He knows that if both of them are caught on with their activities, they might all get into big trouble. The intimidating man ridicules his attempts as he discloses that the tech-savvy troublemaker is just someone who can easily betray anyone who relies on him, going as far as saying things untrue to irritate the boy. Arasi keeps testing Polka and guesses already that he isn't just a normal regular kid. As he's busy analyzing, Misaki jumps from behind and kicks him right in the gut. She says that she has defended herself against a creepy man and darts away with Corpse God. They hover over the alleyway using Corpse God's summoning spells and hide away on top of the roof. Takumi confesses the truth and informs that he will sell them out as soon as his life is endangered. However, Corpse God blissfully talks about his loyalty with his friends, and talks about his past life's holy friend. At the police office, Arasi flashes his wound at Aikawa, his officer in charge. This wound is a possible lead as it matches the footprint, which matches with another footprint along with Lemmings's. More senior officers walk in and they declare their progress in the case. They say that they have found a possible suspect which matches the description of Lemmings. A tall figure appears and lifts up the image of the footprint. During the evening, since Tsubaki Iwanomi is already laying drunk on the table in the bar, he finds Corpse God and Misaki talking to Lisa after they walk in. He invites them and gets friendly by opening up about himself. A while later, his partner also arrives and all of them have arrived into a big, awkward mess. The criminal investigators close in on both of the murderers and suddenly the electricity goes out. Using his special eyes, Corpse God navigates through the bar whilst holding Misaki's hand, guiding her out of trouble. All of them turn on each other, but upon looking up, they find the true suspect, Lemmings. He's masked up hanging off the wall of a ceiling like a bat, glaring at them. He falls down, facing everyone all at once, smugly. The season takes a turn as Lemmings finally unveils his true identity. What will happen to the pair of non-human murderers, the unsuspecting investigators and the suspect himself? Are they going to team up together to fight a common enemy, or are they all going to have a violent face-off against each other?